wait a minute. My high school counselor told me I could get a social media job working from a Starbucks cafe and make 100,000 a year.
Hmm. It's number 11 on the list. It didn't make the top
Did I make that 10?
10.
Yeah,
uh,
it's all the people that ban your media that make like less than that. It looks like.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, but I'm guessing that you're gonna show me 10 jobs that are all STEM.
Exactly. Exactly. So the 10 best jobs in the US in 2022, all over 100 grand, are all data and STEM related. Enterprise architect, full stack engineer, data scientist, DevOps, strategy manager, ML engineer, data engineer, software engineer, Java developer, product manager. So unfortunately,
Yeah,
social media manager doesn't fall on that list.
yeah. Go to let's look at this list really quick.
Sure.
So that one there, this has always kind of been the case. As enterprise architect,
Mm,
when they rated, I don't know what test it was, but like kind of the like mental alchemy you needed to really thrive in these complex jobs. It was like ERP systems manager, enterprise architect, these people running these huge complex systems. They are always like number one in terms of like brain power
mm,
because you had to keep so many moving pieces and like the causality. If I change something here, then 5 steps down the line in this business process, this changes. Those people always required a tremendous amount of brain power, and they also always seem to make a lot of money. A lot of money in ERP, like SAP type stuff, Oracle.
mm,
So
mm.
that one's not surprising. Full stack engineer. Who doesn't need a full stack engineer right now?
That's true.
Actually, right now I need a full stack of buttermilk pancakes, but that's a whole that's a whole other issue I will address after we get off this little conference here.
You'll be a
Data
full stack
science.
engineer of your stack of pancakes.
I mean, that's technically a true statement. So data scientist, that's large data sets. That's not going out of style anytime soon. DevOps not going out of style anytime soon. Some of these gigs too, like you don't have to go to college for some of this stuff.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I think that's the cool part. I started my life off in tech as a teenager, and I was making a hell of a lot of money in my late teens, early 20s in the tech world. And I wasn't going to college. I read a bunch of books and mastered a craft in the tech world. Some of the best coders I know, actually, one of them that does work for us, Kane, as he didn't go to college, but he's one of the best, software engineers out there you can get. So it's cool because there's opportunity here if you don't want to go to college, or if you didn't go to college to build a 6-figure career, which is kind of cool. So strategy manager, that's probably a little less tech, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You might end up with a business degree. Also, something that anyone can do. Like, I don't know if you have to have a certain degree to do strategy. Your mind either kind of thinks that way or it doesn't.
Right. Right.
Machine learning. I mean, we're just getting started here. That's a median salary. Some of those people crush it, right? Like,
Yeah. Right. Right.
there's some big paydays out there for the machine learning guys.
Does it surprise you at all the active number of job openings that we've been chatting about? I mean, there's thousands and thousands of these jobs that, I mean, for the most part, if you maybe surveyed working professionals across the US, that I don't think they would realize how many jobs there are.
I'm not surprised.
Okay.
I feel like ever since I've been in the tech world for 20 years, and then on the recruiting side of technology recruiting, executive search, ain't much changed here, man. There's this problem we have with companies staffing appropriately where people can put the acronyms on a resume and say, okay, I can do Java, I can do HTML and all this stuff, but at what level they can do it is a whole other question. And I think for a lot of the jobs that we're doing in this country, for some of these startups, or we're looking to create some of the top 1% of tech in the world where things can't fail, they're not full of like bugs, and
Sure.
it takes people at that like top 10% of the ability. I think we do have a lot of people in the world that have the skill sets to technically do the job on paper. But I think once you get in the field, this is where you see a lot of things in the tech world struggle anyways. for a lot of the stuff we're doing, you just have to be on that top. So, and you realize that it's like, NBA. You got one LeBron James. You got Curry. You got a handful of people that are really at the top, and then there's a big gap between everybody else, and that happens often in all sports. And like, well, why can't we have a league of 500 people that's all LeBron James and Curry's? They don't exist.
Yeah, right.
And I think that's the issue here. We need more LeBron James, and I think until we really get our educational system built up to give the companies what they need to succeed, you're going to continue to see these job openings like this.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
So, Java developer,
product manager.
I mean, you see a lot of product managers for all things from SaaS to electric car companies. But a lot of times they end up being engineers that have a marketing emphasis, right? Like you're still kind of going back to tech. But I mean, if you got the right bachelor's degree and you're targeting the right markets, yeah, you're six figures in your 20s.
Right.
I think you and I both know people that are in that same realm that have done that, achieved that. They fit one of these 10 job openings kind of. They were six-figure people in their 20s. They're mid six-figure people in their 30s, and then they either kind of that line flattens out, or a handful of them move up, and they're making $250,000, $300,000 in their 40s. So the jobs are there, right?
Yep. Clearly.
Are we going to get the degrees necessary to do these types of jobs? Can we get people that want to do these jobs? They're so caught up in that concept of, I got to do what I love. Like, Kane, who sits back and says, it was my dream to be a product manager?
Right.
Yeah, not many, Kane.
Yeah.
Hey, scroll through these really quick. I mean, let's just play that game. I dream of being a full stack engineer. Like, we thought about, I want to get into tech, I want to do this thing, like, and I dreamt of being a DevOps engineer. Like, no, I want to be a DevOps engineer because it pays good money and it's going to allow me to live the life I want to.
Yeah, support my family.
Yeah. A strategy manager, like that's what I went to bed thinking about when I was like 9. I don't know.
Yeah. No, you make a great point, and the reason I wanted to bring this page up was there's 100,000 jobs on this page that we just walked through. So we're not talking about this finite thing where supply and demand are like way off to where like there's 10 people per job kind of thing. And as you mentioned, a lot of these roles don't require extensive schooling, and so the idea that you can't make a great living in this country acquiring just some level of skill is just a fallacy. And there's so many jobs out there that don't get the recognition that I think their pay grade should. It speaks to some sort of issue, and you touched on it, I think, which is the education system. But there's so much opportunity out there that I think that it'd be a waste not to try. If you were in a bucket where you were thinking, okay, I really need to think of my next step and I don't know what to do. Well, here's 10 options.
And here's something to think about. This is on Glassdoor, which I don't think is the largest, job board in the world.
Right.
So there's 100,000 of these jobs just on Glassdoor. And that's 100,000 jobs that are only on Glassdoor right now. Over the course of 12 months, how many of these jobs are actually available? And when you look at complete availability, not just what you see posted on one job board, it's a tremendous amount of job openings that are all, kind of upper middle class lifestyle type of gigs. So it says how many people are going into college and they're getting, how many you come to an employment boost, we might talk to you about this stuff. So, what do you want to do? You want, I need to make $100,000. It's okay. Here's what you're going to have to do to make $100,000. We might bring up a strategy manager. Tell me your dream jobs at Rivian, and then we look up and they are hiring a strategy man. And then we can say, well, this is the kind of person that's gonna they're going to hire, so you're going to have to get this kind of education and this type of experience to get to this level. That's not really happening, I'm guessing, at the high school level on counseling or even in college counseling. You often get pushed into a lot of these degrees that are convenient, and are they really prepping you to become a strategy manager? I don't know. Like, machine learning engineer, I'm sure if you're in a specific program, sure. One of those things you got to step back and say, what does the market want? And am I going to have the education and experience to match up with that?
Mm-hmm.
And I think we just do things backwards right now, where we just go to the school to get a degree, where, 15, 20% know what they want to do. They get to the degree to match, then they go get the job to go with that. And then we have 80% of people that are sitting here going, well, I just went to school to get a degree, but it's not what the market's looking for. And I think that's where we got to try to fix that gap.
Yep. Agreed.
Because the jobs are here. The well-paying jobs are here. There's opportunity for everyone to grow. But you can't without the right education and experience. Yeah, that's about all I got for this one. I'm going to go work on a full stack of pancakes.
Sounds good.
All right, I'll catch you.
Sounds good.